our first ever Teachers and Students Summit too. So we're very excited. Just to get things running smoothly, I'm gonna ask everyone to turn off their microphones. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation or while the speaker is talking, please send it on our chat so that we can keep them for at the end. We're gonna have a quick Q&A questions sessions at the end. So please remember, keep your microphones off. And we're gonna have a very great opportunity today to have a special guest for us today that's gonna start the summit. Today we're gonna have a person that is not only the heart of our company and one of the main reasons that we are who we are and that the competitions are as great as they are and they have this vision and passion for education, but we also have a person whose life has been surrounded with experiences and different achievements that has made him able to talk about a very interesting topic, if you ask me. And we're very proud to introduce you to Roberto. He's a CEO from BioWorld, and today he has an amazing presentation to share with you about what he thinks and what I think we all might already have in mind. The future might be looking like for technology and for students and for teachers. So we're gonna share a little bit of who he is. He's gonna introduce himself. He's gonna share with us what he has done, his trajectory and everything, so that we can get to know him, we can listen, we can learn, and hopefully teachers and students, you can have an amazing opportunity to learn something new, to open your mind, to have different ideas, and also to debate. If you think something differently, we ask you please share your comments on this chat, because we really like to hear your different points of view, what you think about the information. So without further ado, I would like to let Roberto speak. He's gonna introduce himself. So right now, everyone, once again, thank you for coming here. Thank you for being here with us. Roberto, the session is all yours.
Okay, thank you. Is everyone here listening to me? Are you guys listening? Yes? Okay, well, thank you for being here with us today. I am very proud to be able to do the presentation. Let me first introduce myself. I'm an industrial engineer. I did my studies in some schools in the United States, actually a military academy. And then I did my degree in Mexico and Canada. And I was a very lucky person being able to travel and learn from different cultures and being able to meet people from all over the world. I started my career working for an oil company, which is ExxonMobil. And I worked for them for a few years. And from there, I started my own company in communications. I was lucky to do that. And I have been doing many things from construction and education and technology, and actually farming too. I just want to give you a brief presentation. I tried to make it very brief. It was an hour long, but I think you're going to enjoy it, and it's going to let you see what's coming in the near future regarding technology. And I think that the topics that the team put together for you are really beautiful. Some of the topics are very actual and relevant. We're sure that those topics will have, you will see the next 2 years will help transform your thinking. Actually, we will have a testimonial of one of the students that participated in Masters. And he launched his own company, a multinational company. So I think you will enjoy that. Also, some of the topics like COVID, entrepreneurship, and how this is bringing opportunities. And I'm going to talk a little about that. Also about fintech, the role of technology in financial services, which is a really amazing topic. It is something that in my case brings passion to my thinking, from blockchain to PayPal, etc. Anyway, let me start with the presentation. Okay. Well, as you guys know, the future is moving faster than we have seen in the last hundreds of years. And I'm going to try to be brief and explain to you why is that, and there is a reason for it. Right now, there is a convergence of technologies in which not just telecom, but sensors, networks, AI, quantum computing, robotics, 3D printing, augmented reality, VR, synthetic biology, blockchain, everything is reinventing every single business and model that we have seen. And this is becoming faster and faster, so people need to have that in mind. There is this quote that I want to give you, which says, people have no idea how fast things are changing. And COVID-19 has taught the world the power of exponentials. And actually, we as human beings and as primates, we come from the savannah, and things were local, and things were linear. So our brains and our lives have been ruled by a linear life. This means that if you take 30 steps, you will move only 30 meters. But exponentially, if you take 30 exponential steps, which means the doubling every step, in 30 steps, you will have gone around the earth 26 times, which is something mind-blowing. And I think I will need to show you some graphs. Here, as you can see, there is a line, which is a linear line, and the yellow line is the exponential trend or exponential line. As I was saying, we have been living in a linear life for most of our lives, but now that is changing, and now we're starting to live in a very, very amazing world. And it's something that if you are an entrepreneur and you like to invest, it's something that you need to open your eyes and be able to see that, because there is lots of potential there. Hold on. As an example of the exponential things that are happening, I'm going to talk about Kodak. Maybe some of the students haven't heard about it, but I believe some of the teachers do. Kodak in 1996 had a market cap of 28 billion people and had 140,000 employees. This company had the opportunity, actually invented the digital camera. They did the first digital photograph. Their team in their labs did the first one, which was a 0.1 megapixel picture. When they showed this picture to the CEO said, well, this looks like a toy for children. We're not in the business of doing toys or trying to make this. We're in the business of chemicals and paper. So by 2012, when Instagram was sold for $1 billion to Facebook, Kodak was bankrupt. So anyways, it's amazing to see that the company that invented the digital camera went bankrupt by the time that a company with 13 employees was worth $1 billion. A few years later, actually, this company called Instagram was worth $100 billion. So that's the power of exponentials. And that's what I'm trying to convey to you, trying to show you how things are going to start moving in every area of our lives. Anyways, this is to give you just an example of how this is working. As you can see, in 1930s, the analog pictures, which is in paper and chemicals, which was a business that Kodak was, they were taking around 1 billion pictures per year. And right now, thanks to exponentials, we're talking about almost 2 trillion pictures taken per year. So that's a big, big number. Another example, I don't know if you heard about Blockbuster and Netflix. Maybe Netflix, most of you have heard about it, but Blockbuster, maybe not. Well, when I was young, Blockbuster had lots of places in which you would go there, walk in the store, and look for a movie. Movies at that time were in tape, not even DVD, they were in tape. So you had to go walk around the store, pick your movie, then go to the cashier, pay for the movie, take the movie with you, and maybe return it 1 or 2 days later. And if you forgot to turn it back, you would need to pay some fines, which I had to pay my share. Anyways, Netflix came into business and started in 2004. It started with not as an exponential business. They started with the old model. They were renting through the postal service, the movies. But anyways, they migrated to the cloud, which is the business you guys know. And Blockbuster in 2009 had the opportunity to buy Netflix. And the CEO of Blockbuster said, these guys are not even in our radar. They are not our competition. Anyways, 2010, Blockbuster is bankrupt and Netflix is worth $200 billion today. So that's another example of how exponentials work. There are 6 Ds in the exponential framework. I will try to explain them to you so you understand how exponentials work. It's digitized, deceptive, disruptive, dematerialized, demonetized, and democratized. Digitized is, as its name says, let's talk about a book, which is the most clear example. In the past, to have a book, you needed paper, so you needed a mill to work the trees, and then you needed ink, you needed to print, you need presses, you also needed a chain, a distribution chain to move the books around the world, etc. And now you have Kindle, iBook, and all these formats in which books are already on the cloud. So that's digitized. It's deceptive because, as the story I was telling you about Kodak, the CEO at the beginning didn't see the potential. And this is key for you guys as students and teachers and everyone to try to think about what business you're looking into, really. Because the CEO got confused. He said that his business was paper and chemicals, but his real business was preserving people's memories. So the question is, what business are you really in? No matter what business you're investing or trying to get into, things are going to change, and they are changing fast thanks to COVID. And these things are really disruptive. Anyways, dematerialization is easy to explain, as in this slide you can see. Maybe for most of the students, they see this picture on the left and they don't even know what it is. And as you can see, when I was younger, there was the telex, the fax, the computer, and the DVD player, the Walkman, the camera, the scanner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now, most of you, if not all of you, have an iPhone in your pocket or a mobile phone, and this mobile phone does all those things. That's the clearest picture on dematerialization. Demonetization means that everything becomes easier and cheaper to move. Like, let's say the taxi fleets, now you have Uber. Who would imagine that you would jump into a car of a person you don't even know and travel around in this car? And, or books, imagine Amazon, Jeff Bezos, he started selling books online, real books, and now most people are, at least young people, like and love to read books online from the cloud. Hotel chains, now you have Airbnb. Long distance, you have WhatsApp, and you have Skype, and research libraries, you have Google. So that's demonetization, and it's a powerful tool to have, and we're very lucky to live in this time. Anyways, democratization, a real clear example is in 2002, we have a very few million people using mobile phones in Africa. By 2017, we had already reached 1 billion users. So that's democratization. Actually, in Mexico, you can go to a convenience store and buy a mobile phone for less than $20. So that's really something amazing. Anyways, what's driving this? As you guys know, or you maybe have heard, there's a law called the Moore's Law. Mr. Moore was the founder of a company called Intel. And this guy said that every year, between every 12 and 24 months, technology would double. When he said it, it's as I was telling you. At the beginning, you don't notice it. But then suddenly things change. It's like COVID. When you heard about this coronavirus thing in January, most of the people said, well, yeah, it's 100 people sick in China, it's in Wuhan, there's no problem. But now you get to see the power of exponentials. You get to see how many people right now are getting sick and how many people are dying. That's the power of exponentials, and that's driving technology at a speed that is really amazing. In this slide, I am going to try to convey to you how things are changing in 47 years. As you can see, in 1958, these guys made the first transistor, which is putting together 2 transistors. And by 2018, this Intel Core i9 had 7 billion, you heard me right, 7 billion transistors. This is a 14 nanometer every transistor, which is amazing. And the price for every transistor has dropped to a 2 millionth of a cent in the US dollars. That's a 27 billion fold improvement just in 47 years. That's something that you should be thinking about, because imagine what's coming in the next few years. In memory, in 1956, the first memory came out. It was a 5 megabyte memory. It was worth $120,000. If you think about it, it was the size of a room and it was 5 megabytes. I don't think even a Word document is that heavy now. Anyways, today you have a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte SanDisk that is worth $100. So that's the power of exponentials. That's a 10 trillion fold improvement. And let me talk about what's coming in a little, and so you guys get a little excited. By 2023, there will be a laptop in existence, a $1,000 laptop that will have the computing power of the human brain. That sounds easy to say, but that's something that is really amazing. That's just 3 years ago away. And something that mind-blowing that I need to tell you, by 2050, actually before that, we will have a $1,000 laptop that will have the computing power of all the human beings on Earth put together. So think about that. And connection. Also, connectivity is driving improvements in everything, because we're getting connected, and people, and like right now with the COVID, there is all the scientists in the world are putting together all the works and papers and research. So this is the first time that all human beings are working together to tackle the same problem, which is the COVID pandemic. So, and the speeds are really amazing. Maybe for you, young students, can't fathom that, but I'm going to tell you something that in my case was like the beginnings of this. When I was 22, 21, this is 1991, to get plugged into the internet, you needed a cable and you needed to connect to the telephone wire. So you would connect your computer to a telephone wire and start dialing up and doing a dial-up connection. The speeds were like 56 kilobytes per second, or maybe less than that. Anyways, if someone picked up the phone, you would lose connection, and that was a nightmare. You guys don't have that problem because you get connected through wireless, and we're having, people are deploying and companies are deploying. Huawei and some AT&T, Verizon, and in Europe, some big companies are deploying the 5G. This wireless connection will be at 10 gigabytes per second, which sounds easy, but that will let driverless cars and actually everything will be connected to the Internet of Things. Now, let me talk a little about Elon Musk. I don't know if you guys have heard about him. He's becoming like a rock star in technology. This guy is like the Tony Stark of our time in real life. He has many companies like Tesla and the solar panels and everything, but I'm going to talk specifically about SpaceX. He's going to launch 42,000 satellites all around the world. These satellites will give internet connection to every single human being and will let you be connected at the top of the Himalayas or in the North Pole. So that's something to think about, because this will bring many people online. How many people? Well, in 2010, there were only 1.8 billion users of internet. By 2025, thanks to these things that are coming online through many companies, not just the Starlink from Elon Musk, there will be 8 billion people connected. Think about it. Think the potential for every single thing being able to say, talk, create, think, and connect. So we will discover, invent, consume, create, desire. This will accelerate the speed at which things are going. Also in medicine, which is something amazing, there's only 20 gene therapy treatments approved already. but there's already 400 on trial right now, and this is going to change the future of medicine. Almost 90% of genetic defects will be corrected. And just to give you a little, try to convey to you the importance of this is there's a doctor, his name is David Sinclair. He's in Harvard. He did MIT, Harvard. His PhD, he did some editing of genes. To do that, his research, he took 3 years just to edit a single gene and get his PhD. Right now, students, 14-year-old students, can do gene editing in a thing called CRISPR, and it takes them just a few minutes to edit. Right now, we have created a word processor to do gene editing, and that's something that really excites me because we will be able to do many, many things. Anyways, some of the things that will be corrected and that are already on trial, there will be cancer cures, AIDS, new antibiotics, and anti-aging technologies. This brings me to mind, I will share to you in the chat the name of this book. I think you need to read it. The name is Lifespan by David Sinclair. They are saying that making 100 years old will be the new 60. And as you can see here in the Time magazine cover, they already exists, it was already born, a child that will live to 142 years. So let me talk a little about the 3D printing. I think you have seen maybe 3D printers that were printing plastic and were able to model and print and manufacture things. Well, let me tell you something amazing. We are already printing some organs like hearts, kidneys, lungs. And this is amazing because this means there will be no rejection of an organ that you receive. Let's say you need a heart, they will print your heart with your own tissue, and there will be no rejection. This is coming, and this is coming fast. Also, they are printing prosthetics. Let's say you're an arm amputee and you lose your arm, they will, or you were born with a defect. These prosthetics are worth cents on the dollars, and they are printed in minutes. And we're being able to print in many materials, not just living tissue and plastics, but we're printing in all these different materials. Actually, in the space station, there's a printer, and whenever they need a replacement part, it's not sent to space from Earth. What they do is they just print it. Imagine that. And something that can bring to mind also the power of exponentials and make you think about it is that the last astronauts to being able to go to the space station, they used not a NASA launched rocket, but it was a private company called SpaceX that is owned by Elon Musk. So imagine that. They were able, a private company could launch people to space at 100th of the price that NASA, the most advanced company in the world, well, we thought, would do it. Anyways, I think there will be two kinds of companies in the next decade, those who are using AI and those who are out of business. AI stands for artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence could have a more profound implication for humanity than electricity or fire. This was said by Sundar Pichai. He is the CEO of Alphabet, which is Google, a monster in technology. Anyways, let me try to convey to you the importance of AI. AI this year, 2020, will generate $1.3 trillion. Next year, it will generate, it will more than double, $2.9 trillion. And it will make productivity amazingly fast. But by 2030, AI will be 15% of the total GDP. GDP stands for gross domestic product. It means that everything produced, manufactured, created, done 15% of it will be through AI. To give you an example of the power of AI, I'm going to talk quickly about a company called DeepMind. Maybe you are so young that haven't heard about it, but 30 years ago, Kasparov, the chess master of the world, the unbeatable human being with the most powerful mind to play chess, the game of chess, was beaten by a computer. And that's today for you, maybe it's not amazing, but that's really something big when it was done. And the company DeepMind, which is a Google company, they created an AI, that's an algorithm. That's a software, a program that learns and reprograms itself. Sounds like the movie Terminator, but it's not like that. Anyways, this company, this program, this software was able to take on head-on the world champion of Go. This company was called, this program was called AlphaGo. Actually, you can Google it, it's something big. And AlphaGo beat the Go master of the world. And people thought this was impossible, or at least not now, or until 2030. The program did it, and DeepMind didn't settle for that. They did a new program. This new program, in a matter of, I believe it was hours, beat AlphaGo. The program is self-learning and plays against itself. This means you give it the rules and it will start playing and simulating and becoming better and better. So the experience it can achieve in a matter of seconds is what the whole human race has gathered in its complete history. So that's the speed at which things are moving. Anyways, I'm going to give you a brief example that people have heard about it, but it's something mind-blowing. AI has already been used in medicine and in law. It was set against the best lawyers from Princeton, and they were giving a contract to read and see how the accuracy of the contract and fix everything that was on the contract. AI took 26 seconds and with a 94% accuracy against human beings that took 92 minutes, and we had less accuracy. And right now it's being used to analyze X-rays and images, and it can tell if you have cancer with a 99.999 accuracy, better than a human being. And actually it can see some images of the eye, and it can do things that we humans are not able to do. It can tell if the eye belongs to a man or if it belongs to a woman. So anyways, AI is gonna change everything. And as I was saying, the convergence of things, this means all these technologies are coming together at the same time at speeds that are really mind-blowing. So imagine you have the computing power, which is doubling every 12 months. You have the amount of data. There's big data right now. You are giving your data. If you guys have seen the movie Social Dilemma, you're giving not just your GPS position, but your emails, your chats, your everything, your thinking. And this information is being used. And this algorithmic innovation, which is the programs that I was telling you about, are being able to reprogram themselves. This means a human being is not programming some of these programs anymore. It means that it's reprogramming by itself. And also, this thing is outpacing Moore's law because the programs are more efficient since they are being reprogrammed, and they take a lot less computing power. But at the same time, you have more computing power. So that makes it really amazing. Anyways, just to mention a few things right now with the COVID-19, as you can see on the left, that was the office, and before this disruptive change. And now on the right, you get to see how the office is working right now. And it's the same for schools, and it's the same for many things, shopping, etc. Anyways, some of the things that should be on your radar that are coming soon and will be changing things. You've heard about Oculus, maybe. Oculus, some children play with these things. These are VR things which you put on your, it's like a headset, but it goes on your eyes. And this thing is changing many things, meetings and playing and working. Apple will launch its own glasses, and these glasses will let you get rid of the phone, and you will do everything through these glasses. Also, this brain-computer interface, as they did an experiment, they were able to restore vision to a woman, implanting 100 electrodes on her head or her brain. And also, amazingly, there's a company called Neuralink, also from Elon Musk. And this company, they are already implanting chips in order to connect computers to the brain. They already did it in primates, and they will be doing it next year with human beings. And there's also quantum computing. As you will know, a normal computer, it can do, let's say, it can process something. They did a test. They gave the most powerful computer something to solve, and the computer would have taken 150,000 years to solve. Quantum computing did it in a few hours. So that's the power of computing. And let me just quit this. Okay. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this quick presentation. I tried to be very brief and trying to convey how things are going to change. This COVID-19 or coronavirus has been accelerating everything. And I believe that it's an exciting time for all of us, teachers, students, people, to see the changes and being an entrepreneur and living on these very interesting times. I'm very excited to have you here. I hope you enjoyed this quick presentation. We have put together what we think are things that you really enjoy. And as I said, I hope you are fine, safe, and enjoy these presentations. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I can take them right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roberto. I think it was a very interesting talk, especially about 3D printing and how everything has been moving forward. I think for many of us, especially younger generation, it's hard to realize how much everything has changed in the last 100 years, how computers have completely changed our lives, the way we see the world, the way we manage everything, having a cell phone that we can access all the information around the world in just a matter of seconds, and no longer having to question what it's like to use a library or a book or to rent something. So I think it's very interesting for all of us to get this opportunity to not only listen, but to watch how technology has changed, how history is changing, and where we're going, right? With 3D printing of organs with human stem cells, knowing that we're going to be able to generate our own organs and to be able to change the way that we think, the way that companies think, knowing that many companies that many years ago were so successful, like Blockbuster, and that now are out of business because they didn't have this vision that you're talking about, how everything is going to change, how technology is taking over. So I think everyone is really excited and interesting. I can see some faces nodding and listening to everything you were saying. So I think it's an amazing opportunity. We have some comments that I'm gonna read for you. So Ana Laguardia is saying, there's a lot about technology that we don't know. This was really interesting, I think, for everyone. How do you think technology affects our education? Do you think it has been positive to add technology to our education system, would be her question.
Wow, that's a great question. And thank you for the question, Anna. I think it's a big challenge. We were not ready for this, and we as a company, actually, we were working on a program that most of you know, which is we had the certificate and we had the year program, and now we have many programs that are being able to help teachers and students and parents learn online and at a distance. But I think the challenge is big because most of the students are used to socializing and working in person. And for students and parents right now, these are challenging times, especially mothers that work and mothers that have more than 1, 2 children, to have them online at the same time. And It's very stressful, and I think that at the beginning we were using Zoom and Meet and tools that were not made for teaching, learning. And I think that actually there's a good opportunity for all of you with all this software that we have available in order to help you do a better job at teaching. Do you think it's been positive to our education system? Well, let me say that I believe that screen time in young children has its risks, okay? Because you're exposing a young mind to a screen too young. And as if you're able to see the movie, I'm gonna, please someone write it down. It's in Netflix. There's a documentary called Social Dilemma. I think you guys need to see it. Anyways, as I was saying, I think that education, the system, has been going on for maybe 100 years without very big changes. If we're sincere, yeah, there is this constructive system, there is this Montessori, there's some improvements, but I think thanks to COVID and this pandemic and being locked down in our homes in this quarantine, which is not a quarantine because we're already being 5 quarantines in our homes. This quarantine has brought the weaknesses, opportunities that the education system has, and we will take them head on. And actually, we can help you with that. If you're interested, you can contact our staff, and we have very interesting things that can help you with the education. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberto. I'm gonna read out another question. We have a couple more, so I hope everyone is getting to learn a little bit more. We have the next question is from Douglas, and he's asking, since technology is going to be on top of everything in the near future, what will happen with moral and ethics since computers will rule, like artificial intelligence and everything that you were mentioning? I think that's where his question is going.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. And actually, that's a topic I was discussing a few days ago with some philosophers and friends of mine. And actually, there's a great book, and I think I'm going to write it down for you. Anyways, let me find this quote. I think you will like it. The scientific formula for knowledge led to outstanding breakthroughs in astronomy, physics, medicine, and multiple other disciplines. But it has had one huge drawback. It could not deal with the questions of value and meaning. And the question you are saying is a very, very moral, ethical question. This is when we need in the world thinkers and philosophers to guide us, because AI, artificial intelligence, has no conscience, has no heart, has no feelings, has no emotions. And the key to being an educator and the key for students to learn is something that has to be conveyed through the hearts of teachers, and you teachers are a very important part of this process. And I know it's a tough time to do such a thing, especially from far away and having students just on a screen. Anyways, I think and I believe that we need to work together, entrepreneurs, students, teachers, parents, and everyone in society, to make sure that this challenge is met and that we use the best values that we can and rules that we can convey to these programs and softwares that are making decisions. Because every year, actually every month, we're letting computers take and make more decisions for us instead of us making those decisions. So that's a really great question, and I think we need to be concerned and involved. Thank you.
Yeah, I also want to mention that the Social Dilemma documentary that Roberto was mentioning also debates around this topic and the topic of truth and the topic about what's right and what's wrong. And I think it's very interesting for all of you teachers and students to watch this documentary and be able to question yourself what you're getting out of all the information that you have access to online, and where is it truth behind everything. So I think it's a very interesting topic, and we can maybe discuss it further later. I have another question for you, Roberto. This one is from Francisco, and he's saying, good morning, thanks for the invitation. My question is, technology has had a major impact in education. However, not everyone is able to access the resources in the same way. How can we private companies and entrepreneurs to help reduce this breach? How can we help them? How can they help get everyone the same internet access, the same resources, the same facilities, technology, everything?
Yes, well, that's a great question too. And there's a very big concern regarding that all over the world. And not just UNESCO and UN, the United Nations. They had a program a few years ago called One Laptop Per Child. And they have been working really hard in order to be able to connect the students. But let me say that well, there's many very, very good news that we don't hear about the news because they don't tell. We only hear the bad stuff. The students all over the world, especially in Africa and Asia and low income, there is this new tablets that are being deployed all over the world for free. These tablets are self-teaching or I don't know how to call it. It is a program that some private companies like Elon Musk actually founded and helped with one of those. And the presentation I made for you, actually, the company, the Singularity University, the founder of this company, he actually gave a prize for a contest in which many companies in the world participated. So they had to build a software that any child can grab the tablet, play with the tablet, and learn to write, learn math, and learn the proper way of speaking in each language. This was already done, and this exists. I will give you also the information if you want to look at it. It's very, very interesting. There's a video on it, and the given to a company that won this prize, and they did that. They did some software that it doesn't actually need a big thing. It just needs some solar panels. It doesn't even need electricity. It needs solar panels and some connections, and they are doing these connections through satellite, as I mentioned. And there is this great book. I think you might like it. I'm gonna give you the name. I'm gonna write it down. I sent it already. His name is Yuval Noah Harari. He wrote a book called Sapiens. And this will give you a big perspective on where we're coming from. But also, he has a book called Homo Deus. You need to read that one. Homo Deus, as the name says, tries to convey what's coming in the future. And he talks and faces these challenges that you're saying, especially on the moral and ethical dilemmas that we're facing right now, thanks to technology.
Perfect, thank you. We have another question. I think this one is very interesting. This is from Douglas again. So we have the population, the population of the Earth would lose control of the day-to-day things at one point. Who will keep control over the artificial intelligence?
That's a great question. And there are two sides to the coin. There is the dark side, like in the movie Terminator, in which they say computers and robots will take over human beings, which I think is a very catastrophic scenario, which I don't believe in. And there is the good scenario in which they believe and say that the AI computers will make a better world, and actually is already making it. AI is already involved in many things, and is doing things that human beings are not as adept at doing. But there are many things that AI will not be able to do in the future. So we will need AI, but let's say AI needs human beings. So they will not take over us. And the challenge is how to adapt these new technologies into our lives. And actually, it's a threat for the political system, a very big one, because You don't need politicians anymore. It's something from the old times. You don't need somebody in the central part of the country to bring information to the countryside. You have communications which are fast, and decisions are being made by politicians that sometimes are not economically feasible or smart. AI, with the data that it has, it could make better decisions regarding taxes, regarding everything. So yes, that's a great question, and something that I wouldn't even try to tackle by myself. I would just say that it's challenging, and it's lovely to be living in this time, being able to see what's going on and trying to participate and put our little grain of rice, as we say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roberto. I don't know if anyone else has another question that they would like to ask Roberto right now, or if you have any different opinions, different material that you would like to share with us. If not, I also want to read out some comments that we got from Julie. Excellent, super informative, very interesting. Thank you from Irene. I think everyone is agreeing that this was a very, very interesting topic that we don't get to talk much about, and that we have to research and discuss, because technology is something that we have in our daily lives, but we haven't stopped to think of the implications of everything that we have in our hands. As you mentioned, an USB that now we carry in our purses, and it's just a tiny little memory stick, that it has come such a long way, and what it means to have the power of saving so much information in just a little piece of plastic. So I think everyone is very, very excited to be here. And everyone is agreeing. Thank you for the invitation, an amazing experience, Roberto. So thank you very much. I have the emails of some people that has asked me for more information for the presentation and for the material. So don't worry, we're gonna share it with you. And if anyone else has a question, now is the moment to ask it. If you want to turn on your microphone and ask it directly to Roberto, you can also do that. And if not, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. We do invite all of you to keep coming to our different conferences. As Roberto mentioned, we have amazing speakers. We have different topics that I think are going to be very interesting, not only for the professors or teachers, but also for you students to learn a little bit more, to listen from different generations and how they see the world versus how you see it, and how you're maybe used to having technology in your daily life, but it wasn't this way before. So I think it's very interesting. Thank you everyone for joining us. And we're gonna have a lot of different talks throughout today and tomorrow. So please join us. Thank you very much, Roberto, again, for an amazing presentation. I think we all have a lot of documentaries and books to read and watch right now to be able to discuss this further. And thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much to everyone. And let me just, I'm going to share with you this quote from John Paul II, the Pope. It's a quote that I like because it is fit for this time and this pandemic. It says, we must learn not to be afraid. We must rediscover a spirit of hope and a spirit of trust. Hope is not empty optimism springing from naive confidence that the future will necessarily be better than the past. Hope and trust are the premise of responsible activity and are nurtured in that inner sanctuary of conscience, where man is alone with God, and thus he perceives that he is not alone amid the enigmas of existence, for he is surrounded by the love of the Creator. This was in 1995 an address to the United Nations, and I think it's a very to the times and moment. It goes right into it. So I hope you like it, and thank you very much. I will give it to you here. There you go. There you have it. So you have it in the chat, so you can look at it. And thank you very much, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much for everyone asking. We're gonna have all of our conferences uploaded to YouTube, so don't worry if you didn't get some of the information, or if you missed a part. We're gonna upload them and share them with you as soon as the summit is over. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day, and I hope to see you all in our different conferences. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Have